My name is Abigail Smith Abbott Brown. I was a battalion wife who waited on the plains and then escorted 3 families to the Utah Territory. My first husband, Stephen Abbott, and I were baptized into the Mormon Church in 1839. Dear Stephen died in 1843 while he was preparing to go on a mission to Wisconsin, and the prophet Joseph Smith spoke at his funeral. Before his death, my husband had agreed with Brother James Brown that if something happened to either one of them, the other one would take care of the family. So I later became the wife of James Brown. In 1852, I penned a letter, a plea to Brother Brigham Young. I had heard that the battalion men were to be honored at a July 4th celebration, and I wrote on behalf of the women. After all, the work of the battalion could not have been possible without the work of their families. This is what I wrote. Ogden City, June 28, 1852. To His Excellency, Governor B. Young. Sir, I do not know, but I shall intrude upon your time and patience. If I do, I wish to be pardoned, and I will endeavor to be brief as possible in my remarks. I thought I would pen a few lines to Your Excellency and the Honorable Board of the committee chosen to conduct the proceedings of the day, pertaining to what I experienced in that period of time over 3.5 years, while my husband served in the battalion. I was left in the spring of '46 at Nauvoo, with the expectation of having a team sent back for myself and family, and was satisfied with the arrangement. I had 8 children. I was caring for 2 other families as well. The next important news I heard was that my husband, Captain James Brown, had gone with the battalion, and no team was to be sent back for me, nor any calculation to send any in the future. In the meantime, with the assistance of my son-in-law, Edward Bunker, I moved beyond Montrose, Iowa. I lived in the frame of the meeting house with 3 other families. Then I started for Garden Grove with Widow Hollister and her 2 daughters and 4 of my youngest children in one wagon with all our effects. Then I walked, I suppose, nearly half of the way. I husked corn at night. We traveled for 17 days. I had 6 to 7 bushel ears of corn at the end of my wagon. I arrived there in Garden Grove, safe with my family, moved into a cabin with my daughter, but soon found that I had got to make some calculation about further living. I sent a note or a few lines to President Fulmer, requesting him to use his influence to get me a school where I might teach, which I did get 1/2 mile from my home. I traveled there and back every day, taught school, had to chop most of my firewood, and had to go to the river for water when there was no snow. Our diet consisted of corn and buckwheat bread and maybe a few beans made into soup. At the close of my school, I went to making a garden. I put in 1 acre corn, beans, and other seeds. I then went to President Fulmer. I got the privilege of taking 2 acres of land in the wild state of nature and had to help clear it off, and bought some buckwheat and raised a crop of 22 bushels. I spun 20 pounds of wool, taught school 6 weeks in the summer, started for the Bluffs or winter quarters about the 12th of October. Then I had to go to Canesville after 3 yoke of oxen. After my return, had to haul 2 ton of hay, and then I went to Canesville again, gathered gleanings of turnips from Brother D. Wood, and husked corn when the snow was shoe deep. Now got home sick, gathered a few loads of corn with fodder for Brother Clapp, engaged Brother Scott to winter part of my cattle upon the rushes, spun by the week to pay for that, went on a trip to Brother Orson Hyde's camp for mules and wagons. Gone 9 days, caught in a snowstorm, got home safe but sick. Soon after, discovered that I had to go to the woods with my children to get more wood. Then I moved on to Mosquito Creek, and there I taught school again. Worked the hardest I ever worked in my life. Returned home, took another school, kept one term, got my pay, and prepared to come to the valley with the 2 other families in my charge. Started west on the 6th of July, 1849, with the George A. Smith Company. Reached these valleys with my family, all living, for which I am very thankful. I give this memoir of the 3.5 years of travels only as a sketch. The rest is better realized than told. I would like an expression from Sister Eliza R. Snow, if there is no objection, and if the wives of those brethren that went in the battalion merit any applause or reward. Signed, Abigail Brown. Well, I never did hear a poem from Eliza R. Snow. I can report, however, that my family prospered on our farm in Brownsville, near what is now Ogden. We raised wheat, corn, cabbage, potatoes, and even watermelons with the seeds that the battalion men had brought from California. We milked 25 cows, and we were the first Mormons to produce cheese in the area. We praised God for bringing us to this beautiful and peaceful valley.